Hello YouTube, this is DVD Review Studios here, and today I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray and DVD update for August 2015, which I've picked up in this update more Blu-rays than I ever usually do, and that's because I'm trying to upgrade some of my personal favourite movies, and movies that I watch quite often to the Blu-ray quality, and I've also picked up about 4 or 5 DVDs to go with this update as well. So let's begin with the Blu-rays. First up we have the complete first and second seasons of the CW's Arrow, which Arrow is a TV show that many people have recommended for me to watch, and I honestly just did not bother, but I picked up the first season online for a pretty decent amount of money. I think it was about £6 for the box set, and honestly it was absolutely phenomenal. I really did enjoy the storyline. I love Stephen Amell's portrayal of Oliver Queen. He really does suit the character, and overall it's just great acting performances from every single actor and actress in this. The box set itself is a really nice addition, 4 discs and 23 episodes I believe, and inside we have some of the cast that are featured in this TV series. So honestly it really is quite a phenomenal show, and the first series in my opinion was definitely better than the second series, even though I did love the last 10 episodes of season 2, which that was all because of the actor who portrays Slade Wilson / Deathstroke, which honestly the finale of this series was truly amazing, and I cannot wait to check out the third series of Arrow when it gets released on Blu-ray in September. So that is the first and second seasons of Arrow. Next up is The Wolf of Wall Street, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I watched this in the cinema when it first came out and was left blown away by how amazing this film was. Really funny, as it says, absolutely perfect acting from Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill as the support actor. Really is absolutely amazing, and if you've not seen it I would definitely recommend checking it out. And I don't know whether the UV code still works, but you can of course type that in and see if it works for yourself. So that is The Wolf of Wall Street, definitely something I would recommend. Next up is the Lego Movie, which I saw this when it first came out and didn't really think much of it, but watching this on Blu-ray I really did like the animation in this. It was definitely the best aspect of this, but I would have probably enjoyed this more if it had a proper soundtrack rather than the Everything Is Awesome song and others amongst that, which the cast was pretty well done, even though Elizabeth Banks, I'm not really the biggest fan of her, but of course Chris Pratt portraying the main minifigure, shall we say, was brilliant. But if it had a proper soundtrack I probably would have enjoyed this more, even though this is a movie of course aimed at a kids demographic. But yeah, it was pretty good. So that's the Lego Movie. Next up is 2 movies I've upgraded recently, and that is Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Shaun of the Dead, instant British comedy classic, absolutely amazing directing from Edgar Wright, and I really do respect this movie as far as comedy goes, and camera shots, just really unique and great on Blu-ray. So that is Shaun of the Dead. And next up we have, I believe these are called the Real Heroes editions. I didn't even know this was the edition I'd purchased when I got this online, but it is quite nice. Comes with a really nice steelbook and sort of a comic book kind of look to it. And there's the back. For whatever reason this is rated 18, and I'm going to assume that's because some of the special features that are exclusive to Blu-ray in comparison to the DVD are a little bit more explicit, shall we say. But yeah, it's a really nice edition, and the movie itself honestly is just fantastic. Really is such an amazing British comedy, and it also comes with a little limited edition art card for buying this edition. So Hot Fuzz, really enjoyable, definitely a film I would recommend. Next up we have the DC movie Watchmen, which I've not watched on Blu-ray yet, but the DVD movie of this is absolutely amazing, and I really do love each and every character in this movie. Of course, Rorschach being my personal favourite, and this edition as well is a free disc I believe, which is really cool, and I don't know whether or not you need the digital copy disc to actually use this, but by all means you can use that digital copy if it hasn't already been used. So that is Watchmen, really enjoyable DC movie. Next up is 2 of my personal favourite science fiction movies, and that is District 9, directed by Neil Blomkamp, and Elysium by the same director. And District 9 really is such an amazing alien movie. If you haven't seen my top 20 movies of all time, I basically summed up the plot of the movie in that. But really is such a great movie, and I would honestly just recommend watching this online or something if you haven't seen it. There's the disc, really cool, and the interior artwork is quite nice as well. So that is District 9, and next up we have Elysium, starring Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. Pretty good movie, not necessarily the best work of the director Neil Blomkamp, but certainly not the worst, and certainly not terrible since it stars Shatler Copley, which is one of my personal favourite actors. So overall, really is a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch. So that is Elysium. Next up is the Seth MacFarlane movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West, which I've avoided watching this because many people said it was pretty atrocious. However, watching this, I laughed all the way through. I laughed more than I did when watching Ted, and that's saying something because I just think Seth MacFarlane as an actor is pretty stunning. It's just absolutely hilarious work, and even though not many people would agree with that perhaps, I really did enjoy this. It was absolutely hilarious, and having Liam Neeson, of course, was great, and just, it's a really funny movie, and if you haven't seen it, give it a watch, maybe, try it out. Not many people seem to like it. It has quite a low rating on IMDb, but of course, I personally enjoyed it, and I just think the acting from Seth MacFarlane was genius. So that is A Million Ways to Die in the West. Next up is the US copy of Limitless, which is an unrated extended cut, and I actually ended up purchasing this online. I think it was from New Jersey on eBay, but they also sent me a DVD copy as well for whatever reason, and it said nothing about a DVD copy being included in the auction that I purchased, so I'm not so sure what to think, but as luck would have it, it was actually quite good that I got the DVD copy because I found out that I cannot glitch my Blu-ray player into watching multi-region Blu-rays. I can only do that for DVDs, so this is a Region 1 copy of Limitless unrated, and this is the Blu-ray copy, which I'll probably end up just swapping out the discs in here and including the DVD inside the Blu-ray. But yeah, pretty amazing film. The unrated edition is not necessarily a version that's necessary for the collection, but it's my personal favourite movie, and I really did enjoy every single aspect of this. So that is Limitless on DVD and Blu-ray. Next up is the two Hannibal Lecter movies that I was missing on Blu-ray, and that is the Hannibal with Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore, and Red Dragon starring Anthony Hopkins and Edward Norton, which Red Dragon was one of my personal favourite Hannibal Lecter movies and just detective movies overall, but I've kind of gone off this a little bit, so I'm hoping that watching this on Blu-ray will key in my love for this movie. But yeah, I really did enjoy this the first time round. Really is a phenomenal film, and Hannibal, although pretty low rated, I thought it was quite good, so that is Hannibal. And lastly for Blu-rays, this is actually quite a funny story. I was walking towards CEX, and on a market stall they had loads of DVDs and Blu-rays for sale, and I ended up grabbing this for under £1, and I only got it because it came with a little Han Solo Lego toy, which is quite cool. But I've already got this on DVD. I've not watched this in ages, so I have no idea what it's about, honestly. I think I got this in 2011 maybe, and I never watched it again, but I did want to get this just for the minifigure, and of course it's another Blu-ray for the collection, so that is Lego Star Wars The Padawan Menace. Now on to the DVDs. Okay, so first up for DVDs, as I've already shown, is the unrated copy of Limitless, starring Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. Great movie, would definitely recommend giving it a watch. Next up we have the first season of American Horror Story. I believe this season is referred to as Murder House, which honestly, I'm about halfway through. I think I'm on episode 8 out of 12 of this series, and I'm not really feeling it, to be honest. Apparently it gets better after this season, in the second season, which I believe is referred to as Asylum, and then we've got Coven and Freak Show. But honestly, watching this, I'm not really that thrilled about it, to be honest. I did like the portrayal of Tate Langdon by Evan Peters in the episode 6, where he massacres his entire school, which I thought that was a really nice scene. But it's a 4 discs. Unfortunately, this disc is broken for me. The little piece that pops the disc on and off arrived to me broken, so I just shoved in this little swing tray just for the sake of holding the disc. And yeah, I didn't really think much of this season, to be honest, even though I've not really finished it, so I'll perhaps give my verdict in the comments or in the description or something on whether or not I enjoyed this, but I will probably check out the second season online rather than buying this. I bought this for only £4, so it's not really too much of a loss, but the first season is pretty good, just not great, so that is American Horror Story. Next up is Jackass Bad Grandpa, which I went to see this in the cinema when it first came out, and it was the hype of everything, and it seems to now not necessarily be as popular, and the DVD prices have really decreased as far as Jackass overall goes, and I thought this was a pretty good movie. Johnny Knoxville, of course, bringing back the character of the Bad Grandpa, Ivan Zisman, I believe he is called, unless I'm pronouncing that wrong, and yeah, it's just a really funny movie overall. It's sort of a road trip and a hidden camera kind of thing, and they just prank the public, and of course they get a great reaction out of them. So that is Bad Grandpa, a pretty good movie. Next up is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which I've not watched this in ages. I believe the first time I watched this was years ago, and I had no idea it was actually directed by Stanley Kubrick. But yeah, rewatching this, amazing film, love Jack Nicholson. in this movie, and of course this movie has one of my personal favourite scenes in it, which is where the wife, Wendy, finds what Jack has been writing all this time, and it just says, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and I just really do love that scene so much. So that's The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. Really is an amazing movie. And finally, to conclude this update, we have the first and second season of Big Train, starring Simon Pegg, Mark Heap, and a couple of other British actors and actresses. Really is quite an amusing TV show from, I think, the 1990s, I believe. I'm pretty sure it is, maybe 1998 to be specific. But yeah, I really did enjoy this. The first season, in my opinion, is a lot better than the second, and overall it's just a really great comedy from the 90s, and just everything about this. There's so many scenes in this that I search up here and there on YouTube just to get a good laugh, and Big Train as a TV show, I would definitely recommend giving it a watch. So that concludes my Blu-ray and DVD update for August. Just a couple of things to mention. I just want to thank all my subscribers for helping me reach 900 subs. Which truly is quite a remarkable achievement in my eyes, so thank you so much. And thanks to all the regular people who comment on my videos and just people who interact with me. It's great to talk to some of you, and of course I really do love hearing feedback and hearing your opinions on the things that I show. And I also like to thank everyone for giving me 400,000 views nearly, which is truly just ridiculous. When I began this channel, I didn't really think I'd be going anywhere, and it's just great to know that so many people watch my videos and enjoy them. And again, another thanks, because my vinyl reviews channel, which I started properly about a year ago, has nearly hit 400 subscribers, so by all means, thank you so much for giving some love to that channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. More videos coming soon.